Okay, so before this last episode starts, I just want to say that I'm going to be putting out this episode unedited. The reason why I'm doing this is not because, I'm being lazy about it or anything like that. It's just these last few bits of the game really need to be shown completely and utterly in their entirety. I don't want to take anything out of it, even if it's just me sitting there just taking everything in, because I feel like that will be actually needed during this game. So that's all I wanted to say before this started. So without further ado, the finale of The Beginner's Guide. Hello! My name is Odysseus Prometheus III, and welcome back to The Beginner's Guide. So yeah, this game is becoming increasingly heavy and a bit real stuff, and I just kinda wanted and was expecting a funny, witty, game similar to Stanley Parable or Dr. Lang's Cove. But instead I'm getting holy crap, this is real stuff. This is intense. But we're gonna keep going because it's also extremely I don't want to say fascinating or interesting because that's not the right words. If I think of it, I'll say it, but let's get going. Hello. Where am I? What is this? Hello? Where did this island come from? How do I get out of here? Hello? Is anyone there? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I've talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. Completely out of ideas. I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. Oh no. What happened? Did something change? It was this machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me, to start it again. You're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. What? You have to take me to it. You need to see it to know why it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
I can take you to it, but there's a problem. It's guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine. Deal? Doesn't matter what I say, does it? We're going to end up there one way or another, right? Deal. Perfect. Come along. I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
here's the puzzle. What do you think? Hey, I recognize this. Solved this puzzle before. This is easy. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First you have to close the door. First you have to open the door. You have to press the switch on the inside. First you have to open the door. Okay, now what? Now you have to close the first door. Oh. Press the wrong one. Alright, what's next? Just press the switch here.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Okay, here we are. There's no machine here. Trust me, you'll see. See, easy game and someone choice 1% of the time. Okay, making games is simple. Sure, making games is easy. Alright, making games is effortless. Ah, that feels wonderful. It wasn't true. Why did the walls just crumble? Why did I feel so awful when I said that? Don't worry, just keep talking, saying that creation is easy. When I make games and feel completely energized, I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work. It is easy. It never stops being easy. Yes.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
I get it. It's a weird thing. Me and you after you skipped this. Every time I make something, I feel better about myself. I never stop creating and just never stop creating and I'll never feel bad. It's such a simple solution. Healthy, blind, but a TV with surround
This is
sound
someone I
can't
really
figure
cared
it.
about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
That's it. I'm free. I'm free.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
I have an idea. I don't want to say it, but I'm just saying that I do have an idea. If it comes true, I'll say it at the very end of this, but if not, then I'll just keep it to myself. It's not important if it isn't there. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. You've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I tend to be quick, I tend to be quiet, I tend to be brutal. I tend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Press.
And of course, it's the machine.
Stopped. You stopped feeding us, your work is keeping us alive, your work was keeping us healthy. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you put them through? It's only because you're creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? So, here's what needs to happen. You need to go out and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. And so on. Apologize for what you're doing. No? Nothing? Think carefully, I know how to hurt you. I've seen the thing you feel. Looking at this kind of makes me think of the 3 dots. Alright then, I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. My friends, calls to me to deliver the bad news. Machine will not apologize to us. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let's pay it retribution. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy the machine. Follow me, we will destroy everything the machine created. Back on the stage, huh? Coda, make sure your work dies here. Make sure you are known forever.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work? So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy, so beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look. And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, The Tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. this room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze. And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Sorry about that. Pop-up. Needed to get rid of it. And I've not been speaking at all, I know, because I just kind of need to take this in, and I don't have anything to say. I just honestly don't.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011, I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Mention it. Just a second, everyone. I'm sorry about that.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up? I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself. And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean? I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself. That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay. more love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
whisper machine. This is in the first game when you looked out the window and you said, "I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from here." This was it. It wasn't just some flat gray surface.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for
Turn back.
miles and miles, and you're so tired, but I know that you're strong, so turn back, turn back.
And that's the end. Well, okay then. That explains why the icon of this game is the musical coda sign. I'm not sure what I can say. That was unexpected. I mean, you guys heard me at the beginning of this. I thought it was just gonna be some happy, funny, hilarious game of just going through stuff. And even as I went in, I was like, okay, so this is really interesting. We're going through an artist's work, pretty much. I don't even know if I should put this up. I don't know if I should send this out on YouTube. feels... I don't know. This game has made me think a lot more than I thought it would. Anyway. My name is Odysseus Prometheus III, but you can call me Odie. Thanks for watching if I ever even send this out, and I'll see you next time. Okay, so I just took like a while, I'm not even sure exactly how long, to kind of process everything and just like, I don't know, straighten things out in my mind, because like, I did all of that in one sitting. Like, everything that you've seen from this, all however many episodes, I stopped paying attention after like episode 4 or something, to how many episodes there were, but like, I did it all in one session, so it was kind of a lot to take in. Like, you guys are probably going to have like more than you're gonna have more than a week to process each one of these episodes as they come out, but just everything that happens in it, like, I'd give you guys my full opinion on everything, because I did do like research and looked things up and like tried to figure everything out for myself, and like mixed with other people's observations and opinions, and just like try and form my own consensus, and I kind of have, not fully, but I think I'm about as far as I'm going to get. And I tell you guys mine, but honestly, I don't want to like, I guess, force my views upon you. Yeah. This game is a whirlwind, far more than Dr. Lang's Cov was. Oh. Honestly, like, there are some really good things about it, but like, again, I don't want to give my thoughts away too much, because honestly, I want you guys to form your own opinions about this. I know I may have like said stuff and things. Wow, my vocabulary is amazing right now, but I may have inferred things or presented ideas while I was playing, or even in my last bit, which I don't even know what I said anymore, because I was in just a daze. Like, I'm pretty sure during the last episode I said 4 sentences. Maybe. There was like nothing in the last episode in the way of commentary. I kinda apologize for that, but at the same time I feel like it would have ruined it. So, I want you guys to form your own opinions. You know what? You want to discuss it? Talk about it in the comments. Just go at it. Don't argue, please. Just try and figure things out. But yeah, this game, I mean, I still want a super lighthearted, funny game from the developer, like closer to the length of the Stanley Parable, just because, like, I loved the Stanley Parable so much. Like, it's one of my favorite games, but this game, though it'll probably be ingrained in my memory for a while, I would never say it's one of my favorites, just because of how heavy everything is and how much, like, emotional baggage that you have to take on as the player. But yeah, in the end, something in my throat. Anyway, in the end, I'd say this game gets my recommendation of form your own opinion. My name is Odysseus Prometheus III. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey, 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 you should subscribe